It's an exciting day for our team and our players, our coaches. Anytime you start the journey of a regular season, it's an exciting time. A lot of work's gone into this, and it's time to see it come to fruition, I guess. And guys are excited. Obviously, we got some decent weather, and you never know in February if you're going to have that. So we're excited to get on the field, start improving, start getting ourselves ready for opening day. I feel like we got a good team, a team that's worked very hard, both on the field and off. They've handled themselves the right way. Now we're ready to see them go out there and perform. And our coaches are very pleased with what we've done up to this point, but now the real challenges start, and it'll certainly start with a great challenge on February 17th.
What makes you most excited about this team?
Well, our pitching staff, I think, has been talked about quite a bit. They're probably the backbone of our team as we start the season. You got experience there with Will and Clark and Adam. You have experience in the bullpen with guys like Reagan and Kyler Johnson and Reed Scott and Brandon Murray. So we got a number of guys, and we got some newcomers chomping at the bit as well. So if the name of the game is pitching, I feel good that we're in a good place right there. We got to stay healthy, and the guys got to throw well. We're not guaranteed anything just because we're highly ranked. We got to go out there and perform at a high level. But we got some talented kids that I think have good character, and they worked extremely hard. So I feel good about what they'll be able to, how they'll be able to perform.
Jack, what do you see from Will compared to the last time he pitched this program a year and a half ago?
Well, he's a lot more confident. He's in better shape. He's worked extremely hard, both in his rehab and on his body. He's very strong. He's a tireless worker, and his velocity's improved. The command of his all-speed pitches have improved. I just think he's a lot more confident right now in himself than he was, a year and a half ago. And
do you think there'll be any, mental hold up for him going out there trying to let rip coming off surgery?
I don't think so. I mean, he was throwing 95, 96 in the fall, so that initial hurdle to let it go, we're past that. And so hopefully he'll go throw it where he wants to throw it. It's one thing to throw it 95, 96, but that'll get turned around if you're throwing it over the heart of the plate. So he's going to have to hit his spots and command the strike zone with his off-speed pitches, but I think he's in position to do that.
Would he be challenging for the Friday night role right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime and I got 3 Friday night guys in my book, and maybe even more. But with Will and Clark and Adam Hill, I couldn't go wrong in either order, whatever order I choose to put them in. But certainly Will and Clark are, with their experience in the years they've been in the program, are at the lead of that conversation in regards to who will throw on Friday.
What was your reaction when you realized you were going to have him back? Was that a surprise to you? You were going to get another year out of the year?
When he got hurt a couple years ago, honestly, I just wanted to take care of him, and I thought he had thrown his last game at South Carolina just because he's so well thought of by the professional scouts, and his future is a very bright one. And so I wondered if he was going to come back. But Will was very steadfast in saying, I have not pitched my last year at South Carolina. I'm not going out like this. And it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to actually do it after some money's thrown your way. And he's a special kid. And he loves this program. He loves this university. And he wants to go out on a great note, and he certainly put the work in to do that.
How does it mean something to be the opening game starter? How do you go about determining that over these next 3 weeks?
Well, I mean, there's competition ongoing at a number of positions, and that's certainly one of them. And we're just going to watch Will and Clark throw and compete, and let's see who's throwing the best and at that time, and we'll make a decision. But who throws February 17th on Friday might be different than who throws February 24th. So we'll just take it weekend by weekend, and we look forward to that issue. That's a good problem to have for me. But these next 3 scrimmages for those guys, or their 3 outings, are important in determining who's going to start on that Friday.
How much did Will help Cody Morris as he went through his rehab as well?
I think they fed off each other a little bit. They worked extremely hard. They were pals in the weight room, and their rehab was pretty much on the same time frame. Their surgeries were about a week apart, so their rehabilitation was they're neck and neck. And so, yeah, they pushed each other. And I think Will was good for Cody, and I think Cody was good for Will. And we're excited to put Cody out there as well.
How much were your guys driven in the offseason by coming so close to Omaha last year?
Well,
coming up short?
I think any time you play at South Carolina, that's the goal of your team. You want to finish the season in Omaha and have a chance to win the national championship. And yeah, there certainly was disappointment in the way it ended last year, getting so close. But there was also some pride from some of our guys, and we were coming off a little bit of a tough year the year before, and it felt like they put our program back on the map. And they were disappointed they didn't play well that weekend, and they're going to work extremely hard to try to get back to that spot.
Have the players embraced all these top 5 rankings that have had some of these preseason national?
I don't think they're really giving it much thought, and half of that's probably our coaches telling them it's not going to allow them to win one game, and that's not going to. No one's going to roll over for us just because we're highly thought of. I mean, these rankings are nice for our fans, they're nice for our recruits, and it maybe let our players stick their chest out a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not going to help us come February 17th, and I think they realize that.
Back in November, you told us that Brandon McElwain will be joining the program on a full-time basis. How is he doing, and is he going to be a contender for a spot in the starting lineup?
Brandon's doing extremely well. He won't scrimmage today. He's got a little bit of a stomach pulled the stomach muscle, but he's fine. I mean, he'll probably scrimmage and be 100% tomorrow. But he's looked great in January, and in fact, he's been one of our bright spots in the individual workouts, and he's hitting the ball out of the park, and he's hitting it with authority, and he seems like a kid again. He's smiling. He's having fun, and I might have thrown too much on him last year at this time with all that was going on and all the expectations that were upon him in both sports, and now he's focused in on baseball. He's going to get his football responsibilities in on his time, and he's going to play baseball, and I think that's relieved him a little bit. And he's there's not as much stress on him right now, and he feels good about going out there and trying to perform and contribute to our team.
What spots do you think he'll compete for?
Well, he's going to play center field today on one team, but he's more, he's wanting to start in right field. I think he knows that TJ and Danny are playing very well right now, and they went through the fall obviously, so they're a little bit ahead. But there's an outfield spot, and there's some time out there to be won, and he's certainly fighting hard for that.
Anybody injury-wise going to be out for an extended period of time?
No, I think we're relatively healthy. I mean, Brandon just got a little bit of a muscle strain, and Madison Stokes has pneumonia, actually, and he's a little under the weather today, but he hopes to practice tomorrow. But there's nothing that's going to keep anybody out an extended period of time.
TJ is a guy who you couldn't get in the lineup enough last year with all the outfield depth. Is he an everyday guy for you this season?
Going into the season, he certainly is. Now, he knows that there's some good players beside him, but he's a special player, I think. He's a special talent. He can run, ball flies off his bat, and he plays a great outfield. So he's a big part of our plans as we go into the season. I certainly think he's an everyday player. I think he has a chance to be a high draft pick and an all-SEC type performer. But I just want him to do the best that he can and play hard and have fun playing. And if he does those things, his talent will show. He's an awfully gifted player.
Where have you seen the most improvement from him?
His offensive approach is better. He's not chasing pitches out of the strike zone. He's much more comfortable and confident in himself. He can bunt the ball, and if he bunts the ball fair, he has a chance to beat it out because he can really, really run. He's just a much more confident player this year at this time than he was a year ago. He knows he belongs. Last year he hoped to belong, and I think that's a big difference.
What's the history behind Stuart Lake joining your program, and what do you foresee him bringing?
Well, we're excited to have Stuart. He's a head coach. He's has a number 8 years of head coaching experience. He's coached in the SEC. He's coached at South Carolina. He's coached at Ole Miss. He's very familiar with our league. He brings a great deal of knowledge. It's going to help us in a number of areas, from recruiting to what we do in the office, from scouting, self-scouting, observing our practices, and just his opinions will help me. The fact that I'm lucky to have, along with myself, 2 other head coaches on our staff that have head coaching experience, it's a great resource for me. It makes me extremely comfortable, and it's neat. It's a great asset for me, and we're tickled to death to have him.
Was this something you initiated?
Yeah. I mean, our program, reached out to him, and we knew we were trying to do this. I lost, my right-hand man in Catherine Brown, our secretary. So she's moving to Indiana, and she was so important to me. But when her husband got a new job and she was moving, I kind of went through my head and thought a lot about what can make our program better. So we reached out to Stuart, and Stuart was very interested, and kind of told him our vision of what we wanted to do, and he was all in, and he was excited about the opportunity, and didn't have to recruit him too hard. He loves this program, and he loves this university, this is where he wanted to be, so it was an easy transition.
Can he do anything on the field with your guy?
There's some NCAA rules that he cannot do. He can't get out there and coach. He can be on the field. He can't be in uniform. He can observe. He can be an observer. It's a lot like those quality control assistants in football, I'm sure. There's some certainly things he can't do, but he can do a lot that can help us too. And there's a lot more that goes into this program than just coaching on the field, and he certainly can help in a lot of areas.
Is this a new position created for him? Is this something we had somebody in last year?
Yeah, as an administrative assistant, and we kind of tweaked it a little bit, and Stewart's going to have to be a pretty darn good administrative assistant as well as a baseball guy, and he's going to have to wear a number of hats, and he realizes that, and that's just part of it. And and that was really, I just kind of thought about it over the break, because we knew we were losing Catherine, and just thought about what could help us on the field, and I just felt like getting a guy in here with great baseball knowledge could help our players, help our program recruit, and help us between the white lines on a day-to-day basis. And I think Stewart's the perfect fit for that job.
You said to ask you in the fall, ask you now about scheduling and why no coach to Carolina.
Well, I mean, it was just didn't work out this year. There's a number of things. We hope to play, and if we have a rain out and they have a rain out this year, well, maybe we'll play. And we hope to, and I think Gary hopes to as well. So hopefully going forward, we'll be able to work it out and play. The dates just didn't match up this year, and a number of things that just couldn't get there. And part of that was our fault and the way that our schedule has been done in previous years, and we just couldn't make it work. But we're going to try to do our best to make it work going forward.
The fact that the defending national champions of in-state school, does that raise a sense of urgency inside your program?
We always have a sense of urgency. I gave
Even more so than that?
I mean, there's great programs in this state. Always has been, always will. I'm not sitting here, and our players aren't sitting here because with a greater sense of urgency because of who won the national championship last year. We're just trying to be the best team we can be this year, and I think our state is showing us a pretty darn good athletic state in a number of sports, and across the board, from basketball to baseball programs to football teams. So we're proud of our state and the way that we perform on the field, and those who have the talent to win it again this year. We think we have the talent to win it again. That's the beauty of the game, and that's the beauty of competition.
How do the two middle infields shape up right now?
Madison Stokes won the shortstop job in the fall, but there's still competition ongoing there, and LT Tolbert's very, very prepared and believes in himself, and he's certainly going to be a good player for us. And got some newcomers in Jacob Olson and Justin Rowe that have some experience that can play too. So there's still some competition ongoing there, and if we played tomorrow, Madison would be in the middle and LT would be in the middle. But that doesn't mean, Adrian Morales didn't start his first game here in 2010 either. So a lot of things changed over the course of 56 games.